Every day of the week and every hour of the day, someone somewhere is celebrating an event, and we're always here or there to bring you this event for your viewing pleasure. Good evening and welcome to Events Diary. I am Lola, and we're embarking on a journey of who and what went down here or there. Stick around. Welcome back. So, let the events roll. Before we go into the Owambe segment, it was the International Day of the Girl Child during the week, and I was a part of the Intel She Will Connect Initiative Symposium for Girls. Do enjoy.
Every 11th day of October is usually set aside to celebrate the International Day of the Girl Child, and that of 2016 was celebrated in different beautiful ways. One of such was a symposium organized to discuss and further reiterate the rights of the girl child. Female speakers drawn from various walks of life gave out first-hand experiences and words of advice to pupils from numerous schools who listened with great interest.
Women's rights are human rights. And the second thing that I hope you remember is to never, never, never give up. So I look at you and I just told you I've got stories from China and Indonesia and Afghanistan. And now I'm looking at you, Nigerian girls, and I know there's a story out here. I know that you are ready.
We have what is called the family support unit. Because the government is aware of the fact that the police, the family, the society, they trivialize offenses like rape, defilement, domestic violence. So in all, about 10 different police stations in Lagos State, we have police officers, especially women, that have been trained to undo cases of sexual offenses and defilement. They are specialized in it. They know what to do when it is reported, and the jurisdiction is not an issue. If it happens here, you can report it at Yaba, you can report it at Ikorodu, and the matter will be properly dealt with. And there's something that we also do in the Office of the Public Defender, especially when it comes to the girl child. We do awareness campaigns. We were mandated to educate and to teach school children about the child's right law.
Make girls know that wherever you find yourself in the world, you have to take up your challenge and make yourself relevant.
And I said, can you strip? And girls will strip. They'll take off their clothes because they wanted the roles. And then I was just like, this thing is wrong. I remember I went to Surulere for that audition. I can never forget that day. And so these are some of the things. So it wasn't like I wasn't given a chance, but I had to define the kind of woman that I wanted to be, because I believe that a woman in entertainment can be as respected as a woman who is president, as a woman who is a doctor.
So opportunities to help young girls, to empower them, not to be dependent, not even just to be dependent on what you're reading in school. You should learn other things. You should learn how to be a food vendor. You might never be a food vendor in life, but it's good to learn or have these skills, because later in life you don't know what would happen, what the situation of your life will end up being, or you don't know what circumstances will fall along your way.
Women and girls also have concerns and issues that affect them, that you can't get to the point of talking about technology with them if they haven't had a meal that day, or if they're being sexually assaulted. And so there's a requirement to sort of get your hands dirty in order to get to the conversation, the high-level conversation of this is why you need technology. And so we realized that we couldn't even just work with the NGOs, we needed to work with the whole ecosystem and network of people who are doing incredible work already. We have some work with Access Bank, so money is an important part of the work that we do. And recognizing that in order for these girls to be able to access the initiative that we're doing, their basic needs have to be met. They need to be safe, they need to be secure, they need to have eating, so when they come into your training center, they can actually hear what you are saying.
The event, which serves as a form of education for girls, was duly instilled in them as they let out some of the things learned.
I learned that all girls should not give up on their dreams, that anything they want to be, that they should stick to it.
I learned about how to be bold enough that
girls, we are the pride of the nation.
That we should speak out. We shouldn't be afraid of anything. That we are strong, we are bold, we should be bold.
If a guy want to put you down, maybe want to have a sex with you, try to shout so that people will rescue you.
Girls should learn to stand up for themselves. And I also learned that there's a saying that children are the leaders of tomorrow, but girls are the leaders of today. That girls should not be discriminated from other people because they are girls. That they should also learn to stand for what they believe in.
Organizers and major sponsors also gave us more insight into what brought about the whole event.
I've been working quite a bit with girls, and I find out that there's a disconnect between what we say we're doing for girls and what girls actually know. So this particular event on the occasion of the International Day of the Girl Child is to, one, bring girls together, to network with one another, to bring organizations that are working for girls, to say, what are we doing for girls, how are we doing it, where do we need to be? And the schools that are here, there are 40 schools represented from public and private secondary schools and primary schools. And the whole idea is to say, you know what, you need to take the message there. So if you are giving girls financial inclusion, you need to take it to them. If you are giving girls empowerment or issues on sexual health and reproductive, you need to take it to them. If you are working for girls, like the Office of the Public Defender, and they are advocating for girls, they need to know that they have this, so that when they are faced with these issues, they know where to go.
Essential to reach a girl when she is young and tell and reinforce in her the things that set her up for the rest of her life. So if the girl starts her life and she's already being told, you can't do this, you can't do that, this is what you need to, marriage is your end goal, you must do all of these sort of things, it sort of limits her worldview. So if we change the mentality of the way that we speak into our girls, the things that we say of their lives, I think it has a ripple effect into other parts of their lives as well. So telling a girl young that she's capable of any and everything, that there isn't a specific role that she has to fit in, I think that is just a very small thing that we can do even in our everyday lives. The way that we talk to our daughters, the way that we talk to our sisters, that is a very easily accomplishable task. So change the narrative, change the way we talk to your girls.
Wife of the Senate President and a special guest of honor for the event, Mrs. Tony Saraki, took out time to mingle with the students while expressing her opinion about the significance of the day.
For the girl to really realize her potential, because girl goals are global goals. We're asking governments now, and everyone a girl will encounter in her life from the point of birth, from the healthcare provider to the academic provider to her communities, her faith communities, her parents. We are asking people to match the aspirations of girls by giving girls respect, giving girls dignity, and matching the smart and social investment in a girl's life. A girl sometimes can be wrongly viewed as disposable or a burden, but girls are an absolute blessing, and it's a privilege to be a girl, because an investment in a girl is an investment to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They will be the nesters and the nurturers, not just of the future, actually, of today. I think our generation are the custodians.
This truly can be called a memorable day for the pupils and the girl child at large. With symposiums like this, the rights of the girl child is widely known and adhered to.
A great form of education from the stables of Zonta International Club. I bet the girls had a fantastic outing with new information being dished out. So now, to the celebration of lives. The first happened here in Lagos, and although it was quite emotional, the show, as fondly called, was laid to rest.
In life, it is not the length of life that matters, but the depth of life. This encapsulated the life of late Akintunde Adeniyi Adeshokan, who died at the age of 61 years old. The late Akin was a cement guru, a socialite, lover of sport, and a devoted Christian. He was survived by his darling wife and 3 children. The celebration of life started with a service of songs held at the First Baptist Church, Ikoyi. In a glowing tribute session, family, friends, and associates eulogizes the virtue of the deceased, popularly known as Deso, a name emanated from his footballing prowess during his days as a youth.
On behalf of Tunde and Dami, on behalf of Ty, on behalf of Michelle, and me, myself, I would like to thank my mom for just being an absolutely wonderful rock for I think when one is given a job, what you're set to do is set up for you're going to do this and that, you're meant to work from 9 to 5, all that. And you know what your duty is. And my mom, I've said this to her several times, many of you have said such kind words about her. She's gone over and above and beyond the call of duty, of her duty as a wife. She's just been there. So many of you will have seen, we personally experienced. Someone described her, I could not agree more, her unusual strength. We marvel at her strength, but it's there, so we thank God for her, but thank you very much.
My dad liked peace. I guess the term in Yoruba I often hear from him is Ejeka Pariji. And I often wondered, what's the issue? You go from place to place trying to sort things out, and when you come and visit, we'd always hold court with friends and relatives who were having little squibbles, and it gave him joy to know that within the family, that's the nuclear extended, and amongst his friends that there was peace.
He was really a very, very religious person. And I know that he was very committed to this church. Myself and I met about 16 years ago, and he started working with us. And he was somebody who really helped in establishing our cement business. He was a great pillar of our organization, and I really felt his death. But the only consolation is that one day, we are all going to be, we are not here permanently, and this is sort of a lesson for us to be religious, to make sure that yes, life in this world is temporary, and that's what will make us to do great work for the future.
In all my life, 41 years, I never saw my uncle, and I was very close to him, being angry. Whenever we're fighting or family quarrel, the only thing Uncle will say is, calm down, never worry, never worry, keep it fair, just talk to me. There's no need, there's no need to argue, there's no need to shout, there's no need to raise. And his calmness inspires us, because no matter how hot everybody was initially, no matter how difficult the topic was, he always managed to calm us down.
After the service of songs, attention was for the second consecutive days shifted to Ikoyi Baptist Church for the symbolic lying in state and a parade of honor organized for the deceased whose time on earth was a blessing to many. It's time for the most symbolic and emotional part of the funeral service, ashes for ashes, dust to dust, where Deso's body was committed to Mother Earth. This was done amidst close family members, officiating ministers, and all the close associates.
In the name of Jesus Christ, that you will put an end to every work of the enemy in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. You will fight their battles and you will prove yourself great on their behalf in the name of Jesus Christ.
In their words, listen to Deso's indelible legacy.
Aki is indescribable. Aki is the quintessential Nigerian. He's a friend, he's a brother, his family, he's totally detribalized. Aki was in my village in Imo State when my father died. Aki was a chairman in the tennis section, he was the chairman of Ikoyi Club, but he's a bigger human being. That is why you see the outpouring of grief, the outpouring of sentiment. I think Alhaji Aliko Dangote captured the essence of the man and captured it all yesterday when he said that Aki was his bedrock.
The joy that he exudes, the love that he has, which is abundant, and his caring heart, gentle spirit, awesome presence. Uncle has done great things. He has left a huge legacy, and it will continue to pay dividends for the boys and auntie. And we just thank God for his life. He was a gift to us all.
He was very happy to the very end. A Christian, a good dad, a good friend, a good uncle, and a good all-round person, who was liked by virtually everybody. He never had any enemies all throughout his life.
After the celebrating nature of the interment, a modest reception party was held where attendees were feted.
Good to have you back. In life, there's a time for everything. May his gentle soul continue to rest in peace. So, whose gig is next? Don't be late in booking us. And here are our details. Oh yeah, we're back. And our town in Ondo State is our next stop. TVC's Dapo Aruwajoye buried his father in grand style, and we bring you all that went down there, courtesy of our Ondo State's correspondent, Ayomura Deyo. Enjoy.
It was indeed a celebration of a life well spent, as dignitaries from all walks of life converged on the ancient town of Owo in Ondo State for the burial of one of the illustrious sons of the city, Akindele Arowolo Aruwajoye. The town shook to its foundation as guests and dignitaries from far and near gathered in large numbers and colorful attires to bid a notable politician farewell. The funeral service at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pentecost Parish in Okedogbon area of Owo was well attended as family members, friends and well-wishers thronged the venue to pay their last respect to the deceased. The political associates of the late Akindele Aruwajoye from different political parties were also on ground to be part of the event. Some of the dignitaries present at the church service were the Chief of Staff to the Ondo State Governor, The Ondo State Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Demi Adekombi, and Senator Bode Olajumoke. In his sermon, Pastor Dele Olowokere described the deceased as a man who served God with his resources.
He did so much for this church. He was the foundation member of this church. We started the church together. Death will surely come to everyone. Yoga says, "Aye Lord, our only." Yoga means to say that this one is just a market place and that is our own. Now people go to market. Some people go in the morning. Maybe 7 a.m. By 9 a.m. already come back. Some will go at 7. Some will go until 8 in the evening. That is how life is. And that's how death is. Don't wait for him. Wait for yourself. Because you won't have this stuff. But you don't know the time. But prayer that when the time comes, it shall be glorious like this.
And after the thought-provoking sermon, the body of the late Aruwajoye, accompanied by sympathizers, moved to the cemetery in a motorcade. The children and family members led the dignitaries to the burial ground, and as his body was lowered into the grave, emotions were in full display. After the interment, dignitaries and guests moved to the reception ground where the family of the late Aruwajoye treated them to sumptuous dishes and entertainment. Members of staff of Continental Broadcasting Service were also present to celebrate with one of their own, Dakpo Aruwajoye, who is the first son of the deceased. For some of the sons and daughters of the late politician, their father was a rare breed.
There isn't enough words to describe him. He was a very good man, very loving father. He loved his children. The things I would say I learned from him is humility and his giving nature. He's a giver. He can give anything to anyone. And those are the traits I know we carry one far, we take one far in life.
His humility, you know, he was a very humble man. Very generous, you know. He never put himself first. He was God-fearing, and I learned a lot from him. You know, he instilled a lot of discipline in me.
A diligent father, a diligent man. He was a true politician and a philanthropist. Someone that I really want to emulate, but the shoes are going to be too big for me to fit in because he's done so much. I was scared he was going to be taken away into the world of politicians, you know, in quotes, how politicians are. But with him, I discovered there are good politicians out there, really. Because according to reports, he never stole. He left there for the people. So I want to say thank God for a man that gave me a good name. And that name, I'll keep it up by the grace of God.
And to some of his family members and political associates, Akindele was a rare gem, and his exit described as a painful loss.
I'm privileged to have him as my brother. It's so sad that he left so soon.
when people are even giving testimonies, I was so surprised that he has done all these things. So, and he's the person that doesn't say, oh, this is my blood. If you come to him, he'll try to make you happy, and he's always smiling, always smiling.
Late Akindele Arowolo Aruajoye was a very great friend, was an icon, was an epitome of humility and hard work and excellence. Somebody that we can never forget easily, was a friend of all of us. In politics, it was wonderful. It was a fine politician and a refined politician at the same time. Hardly can you see Akin fighting anybody. And you will always remember him with his smiles. He was humble to a fault. So our prayer is that the Almighty God will grant him an eternal rest, particularly in the bosom of the Lord. And we pray that God will bless the family with pleasant surprises, and that they will live longer than him, and they will also live well.
The late Akindele Arowolo Aruwajoye, a former chairman of Owo local government area of Ondo State, died at the age of 63. He was survived by his wife, children, and grandchildren.
Welcome back. Omorere Agbenyawa no. I prayed a simple prayer in the Yoruba language, and all you just have to do is say a resounding amen. Okay, it's about the time we say goodbye. But next week is yet another edition on Events Diary, so keep a date with us and keep celebrating, because the more you celebrate your life, the more there is a life to celebrate. I remain Lola, and I love you. Bye for now.